Hello everyone, I'm Cloud. Today is January 1st, 2026. I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year. Today we'll be talking about the overall trend and key price levels for Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2026, including an analysis of the January market. Today, Fated Trades, A Trader's Journey, is also officially released. The inspiration for this book came from last year's dramatic Ethereum price movements. If you're interested, you can check out my new book introduction video, where I also introduce this round of my systematic Vedic astrology course. Looking back at 2025, I was fortunate enough to fully capture every major upward move in Bitcoin. But for me, what mattered more than the predictions themselves was that within just 2 months, I built my own financial astrology system. Because you'll often hear people say that this takes 5 years or 10 years to learn. But I believe what truly matters has never been time, but whether you are walking on the correct structural path. In the new year, I hope I can continue to stay clear-minded and lucky, and keep accompanying everyone through all the ups and downs of the 2026 market. As of today, I can finally confirm that this strong support around 82,000 was extremely solid. Before the end of September, I had already been reminding everyone about the pullback level around 89,000. After seeing the market accelerate, I also provided my bottom line price in time, which was the strong support at 82,000. And in fact, after Saturn ended its retrograde in late November, the price never broke below 80,000. That's why I emphasized how powerful Saturn ending its retrograde was. I had already explained that during Saturn's retrograde, it repeatedly suppressed Bitcoin's upside opportunities. That's why I believed the end of the retrograde would have a major impact on Bitcoin. If prices reached around 89,000 or 82,000 before the end of November, the market would automatically stop falling and shift into a sideways range. I also started warning very early on that this type of price action is not suitable for frequent trading by ordinary people. If you didn't position well earlier, staring at such a narrow range every day is mentally exhausting. Now let's begin today's forecast. As usual, we'll first review the December market, then talk about January, and after that, assess the overall trend for 2026. In December, Bitcoin's highest monthly close was at $94,588. You can see that it failed to hold the mid-range level, which is why there was no meaningful rebound. The lowest point was $83,827, completing a downside target with an error of 0.06% or $53. Ethereum's highest close this month was $3,446, completing one target. The lowest close was $2,718, completing 2 targets, with an error of $32. January's astrological signals are very chaotic, and personally, I don't think there's much need to overinterpret them. You just need to focus on buying at low levels and holding. From around January 13th until February 3rd to 5th, the market remains weak or in consolidation. The market is likely to start recovering after February 5th. We've been hovering around 87,000 for a long time now, without any meaningful rebound. This is also a clear signal that January will most likely choose a weak trend. It's very possible that price dips below 80,000 again to retest the bottom. My personal final support level is 71,000. I won't read out the specific January levels. You can take a screenshot and save them. Bitcoin needs to firmly hold $88,500 before any upside targets can be expected. Ethereum needs to firmly hold $3,050 before upside targets can be expected. If the mid-range level cannot be held, you must be very clear that upward targets are not possible. Now we come to today's main topic, Bitcoin's overall trend for 2026, and briefly touching on 2027 as well. I believe I was one of the earliest people online to talk about the timing of the highs and lows for 2026. The first time was around late June of 2025, in episode 217. The high was projected around May, and the low around November or December. Today I'll go through a more detailed version. You can take a screenshot and save this. This is a rough framework I prepared in advance. Once again, these frameworks cannot be understood on their own. They must be combined with weekly reports and daily price action. I believe the decline or weak consolidation starts around January 13th and lasts until February 3rd. Then from February 5th, the market begins to stabilize and rebuild. By March 11th, capital starts flowing in and investor confidence recovers. Around May 17th, the market is very likely to enter a topping phase, and selling should begin around that time. The top phase will end no later than June 5th to June 6th. On June 30th, the market starts to clearly deteriorate. From July 26th to 27th, it officially enters a dangerous phase. November 25th or December 4th to 5th are the two time windows where I currently expect the low to form. The reason there are two specific windows is that when viewing planetary movements in advance, there can sometimes be an error of a few days to as much as a month. To confirm precision, I need to wait until we're closer. That's why I've consistently said the 2026 low will be either in November or December. The next clear major upward move for Bitcoin won't come until early June of 2027. Finally, here are the price projections for 2026. Bitcoin needs to firmly hold $96,000 before upside targets can be expected. If it breaks below $40,000, the extreme support would be around $30,000 or $6,000. Ethereum needs to firmly hold $3,090 before upside targets can be expected. When Bitcoin enters a downtrend next year, Ethereum will be in a very dangerous position. If Ethereum breaks below its mid-year level, you need to be extremely cautious. If Ethereum falls below 1,000, the outcome would be disastrous. If the mid-range level cannot be held, you must be very clear that upward targets are not possible. Alright, that's it for today. Weekly forecasts should never be viewed alone. They must be combined with daily and monthly charts. The daily charts fill in what the weekly might miss. I wish you all the best. May you buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you found this helpful. Send this to your friends too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.